Hi, I'm Elise and welcome to Witch Way. Today I'll be reviewing the witch lore in part 3 and 4 of Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. For my final witch lore review on Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, I have combined parts 3 and 4 because part 4 kind of pulls away from the witch lore and focuses more on Lovecraftian horror, so there'll be mild spoilers for part 3 and 4. Both seasons were released in 2020 and our usual cast comes together again with the addition of Sky Marshall as Mambo Marie, Sam Corlett as Caliban, and Luke Cook as Lucifer Morningstar. Season 3 sees the Coven's powers dwindling and they are threatened by some new witches in town, the Pagans, who want to revive the Green Man and cleanse Greendale of its residents. Meanwhile, in Hell, Lilith's claim to the throne is threatened, so Sabrina is forced to take her place and challenge the Three Kings' choice of monarch, Caliban, else Hell take over the mortal realm. After the Pagan Witches are dealt with, Season 4 brings on new horrors, 8 to be exact, with the Eldritch Terrors threatening the entire world. Was it because of Sabrina's careless actions? These seasons get pretty weird, throwing in quite a few musical numbers, picking up where part 2 left off. And with the cancellation of the series, I feel like the ending was a little bit rushed and, in my opinion, the final scene is completely unnecessary. But where did these seasons get their inspiration from this time? I really hoped they would go in a different direction with the Pagan Witches, but they are painted with the same brush. With their attempt at reviving the Green Man, a deity of many cultures and a symbol of rebirth, they instead turn it into one of destruction. The Greendale and Pagan covens come together briefly while celebrating respective traditions. The Hare Moon, a symbol of fertility, and Ostara, which is celebrated as part of the Wheel of the Year, and possibly the origins of Easter, as Sabrina mentions.
Ostara. That's a version of Easter, isn't it?
In part 2, it was revealed that Sabrina's father is actually Lucifer Morningstar. With her mother being named Diana, this actually gives her a connection with Aradia. In the folklorist Leyland's Aradia, or the Gospel of Witches, it's believed that Aradia was the daughter of the sun god Lucifer and the moon goddess Diana, and was brought to this world to teach the art of witchcraft. It isn't the goddess Diana that these witches call upon to influence the moon in this series, however. The Greendale witches are seen taking a moon bath to renew their powers, using a mixture of oils and angel blood. This is based off an actual practice where one strips down as far as they like and lies under the light of the moon, though sandalwood is usually used in place of angel blood. Their attempt, however, is thwarted when the Pagan witches call on Selene.
Hail, Selene, tend now our tune.
She is the goddess of the moon from Greek mythology. So apparently here, pagan means being a character from Greek mythology, because we got Pan, god of nature and the wilds. In one story, Pan seduces Selene. We've got Gorgons, the witch Nagina with her ability to petrify. Her name is actually a nod to the snake familiars in the comics, themselves inspired by the short story Rikki Tikki Tavi. We've got Circe, who can apparently read palms but also turns people into pigs. This is referencing her role in Homer's Odyssey, where she turns Odysseus's crew into pigs when they visit her island. We've got Medea,
Medea was a witch, did you know that?
a sorceress and apparently a priestess of Hecate. So the pagan witches aren't the only ones to deal with Greek mythology. After turning away from their dark lord, the Greendale coven instead starts to worship Hecate.
We, the Order of Hecate, rededicate this academy to your worship.
The triple goddess of the crossroads, and witchcraft apparently fell in her domain. We've also got Terpsichore,
Goddess Terpsichore, mother of dance, we offer you muses. Enchant them with trance, let body and movement and spirit romance.
one of the 9 muses. And to finish off our Greek mythology, we have nymphs. Sycorax, who is named after an unseen witch in Shakespeare's The Tempest, calls on the water nymphs, the Naiad.
Spirit of Naiades, this charge be sick. Drain this witch of water, quick.
The artist John William Waterhouse named one of his paintings Naiad. He was often inspired by Greek mythology and witches, and in this series we see another one of his works, Magic Circle, hung in the Spellman house and on my wall. In this series, Sycorax is one of the hedge witches called to aid the Greendale Coven, along with Gryla, who I mentioned in part 1, and Pesta. This name comes from Norwegian folklore. Pesta was a personification of the Black Death, and she would go around to villages bringing the plague with her. If she turned up with her rake, some would survive, though if she came with her broom, the outlook was dire. Turning up with the hedge witches was also Mambo Marie, who Prudence and Ambrose found in Louisiana, though it's not Louisiana voodoo this Mambo practices.
This is a Haitian house.
She mentions the main deity
Monier, almighty Ganmet.
and some of the lower, each who have their own symbol called a veve to represent them. Mambo Marie also takes an interest in Roz, quite literally opening her third eye to reveal she was a witch all along, testing her skills with the Maasai tarot deck and calling her
A weird woman.
This reminding me of the film of the same name released in 1944, based off the novel Conjure Wife, which was released the year prior. In Dr. Cerberus's, we not only see classic horror movie posters, but those for stage magicians like Carter the Great and many of Iona. In an interesting alternate reality episode, Sabrina heads into Dr. C's with a code word.
I'm looking for Haxan.
Haxan possibly references the 1922 movie of the same name. In that same episode, we hear about one of the victims from the Salem witch trials.
As Giles Corey suffered in Salem, so must the accused Nicholas Scratch. Take the weight of these stones until the truth is pressed out of him.
Giles Corey was indeed tortured with this method, and when asked to confess, he said only,
More. Wait.
Speaking of Salem, in yet another alternate reality, we see Sabrina's cat familiar, though not as he once was. At least not in this show. We see the horrifying stuffed animatronic cat, Salem Saberhagen, referencing the cat prop they used on the set of Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
Saberhagen. Salem Saberhagen.
The actors who played Hilda and Zelda on the show also appear as the alternate aunties. In one of the episodes from Sabrina the Teenage Witch, the aunties try and make Sabrina a boyfriend out of Mando. Similarly, our Sabrina tries making her own man, this time out of wax. The wax she uses was from a cord-cutting ritual she did previously to rid herself of her feelings for Harvey and Nick. In a scene where Sabrina is talking to Nick in the school library, one of the book titles caught my eye, Taltos. This is actually one of the books from the Mayfair Witch trilogy by Anne Rice, and it's little things like this that makes me absolutely love the amount of detail they put into this show. It again gets marks for lore, history, and the craft, and this wraps up my Chilling Adventures of Sabrina witch lore reviews. Go and check out part 1 and 2 if you haven't already, and please like and subscribe to get notified of new uploads. Follow me on socials for some extra content, and as always, thank you very much for watching here on Witch Way.